What's up, everybody? I'm Logan, and this is Worley Reviews, the YouTube channel where I geek out and talk shit. Today, I'm going to be doing part 1 of my top 10 favorite albums of 2020. Now, I'm doing this kind of like I did with the TV shows and the movies, that way the videos aren't long as hell. For each album, I'm going to pick 3 songs to talk about, like my 3 favorites or the 3 standout songs on each album to kind of give you a feel of what the album is. Also, after I release part 2 of this video, I'm going to be putting up a playlist of all the music videos, lyric videos, and whatnot of the songs that I talk about on this list. Let's just move right along. Starting with number 10, Scarlet, Obey the Queen. This album is really kind of a guilty pleasure for me, but the lyrics are kind of cheesy, kind of corny. Even when it's got the cheese and the corn, it's still fucking catchy. I was already familiar with the album, but I hadn't given it a full listen just yet until Pulse of the Maggots Fest was streamed, and Scarlet was one of the performers, and just checking out that performance was like, okay, I need to look into this album. And I was impressed. It's very catchy. It's very good for fans of heavy metal with female lead vocals. Some standout tracks, definitely the opening track, Obey the Queen, the song Ugly Fucker. That was actually the first song I ever heard from them. I actually watched the music video for it. But definitely my favorite song on the album is called #Boss Bitch. It's such a badass track that if you hear only one song from this album, it should be that one. That is the best song on the album, in my opinion at least. And next up at number 9 is the self-titled album from Lamb of God. Honestly, I was a little bit worried about this album. I love Lamb of God. I got to see them live back in 2005 when I was back in high school. This is the first album without drummer Chris Adler. He has left the band. I can definitely compare the technique of the new drummer to Chris. I'm sorry I did not look up his name. I got a fucking dry erase board right there. I could have wrote it right there. But you could definitely compare techniques between the two, and this guy actually fits in very well with the band. The sound, it sounds like a Lamb of God album. Some standout tracks for this one. First one's definitely Checkmate. That was the first track I think I heard. Next one being Memento Mori. I love seeing reaction videos to that one. When you listen to that song, it's got that soft opening, and you know, like, okay, it's about to fucking open up. Damn, does it. But definitely my favorite one on this album is Gears. And that's the one that was stuck in my head after listening to the album. Still is to this day. Next up at number 8 is I Prevail with their album Post Traumatic. Now this is a live album. It's not your typical live album, and I think that's why I liked it so much. When COVID hit, I Prevail was in the middle of a tour, and I think they had already planned on doing a live album, but once the pandemic hit, they had to go home. So they did really a fucking brilliant idea and took acoustic live tracks that they had from Sirius XM, made it where it was every song from their album Trauma has a live companion, and it plays out in the exact track list. I thought that was really cool. And then they have the special edition with extra tracks, like the DOA version with Jean-Air Lucas. But standout songs definitely is Dead Weight. They did kind of a live music video for that one. It also has Caleb from Beartooth and Attack Attack doing guest vocals on it. And even in the video, yeah, like the video is that song when it was recorded. Not many live videos do that anymore. Next standout track is definitely the DOA version with Jean-Air Lucas. I can't tell you how many times I've listened to that song or watched the music video or watched reactions to that music video. I am so thrilled that they put that on the special edition, because that was definitely the one I bought. And at number 7 is the Antichrist superstar himself, Marilyn Manson's new album, We Are Chaos. In my opinion, this is the best Marilyn Manson album he has done since the golden age of Grotesque. That was my last favorite album of his. Just the fact that him and Shooter Jennings did this album together is mind-blowing, but it does make sense to me. This is what happens when two music icons come together and do a project, and holy fucking shit, it's so good. It's almost like Manson has matured and evolved and has actually gotten personal on this album. Standout songs, Broken Needle, it's the last song on the album, and it is the perfect closer to the album as a whole. Next standout track is definitely the title track, We Are Chaos. When that came out, it surprised the living shit out of me. I was like, oh my god, he's a fucking genius. Like, he's written some fantastic lyrics over the years. True Manson fans understand the lyrics. Definitely my favorite track on this album is Don't Chase the Dead. I get such strong Bowie vibes from it. And it's so goddamn catchy too. If I had to pick 5 songs from Manson's catalog, Don't Chase the Dead would be in that top 5. And now for the last album on my top 10 favorite albums of 2020 part 1 list, Swamp Stank. Now this is actually a local band. I know these guys on a personal level, and because I know these guys personally, I don't want anybody to think, oh, I'm just putting them on this list because I know them. No, that is not the case. This album is fucking great. There's a handful of local bands that I will always love until the day I die, like Merriweather, Ventress, Echelon. These guys are definitely in that category, whether I knew them before they did this or not. The only thing that worries me about these guys is they've had to go through a few lineup changes recently, but because of their drive, I mean, this album, I mean, their energy, I know this band can continue even if they do have to swap out a few members. You know, band members come and go in the early days. But standout tracks, definitely The Take. That was the first song that they released. I love that song. When I heard it, it felt familiar but different. This reminds me of what I thoroughly love in music, and I've always loved since I was a kid. Next one is definitely Black Mirror Blasphemy. They actually got to shoot a music video, and it's fucking awesome. And of course, my favorite song on this album actually wasn't even going to be on this album, I found out, and that is definitely Christ Eyes. I may or may not have heard an early demo of this. My first time seeing these guys was actually when that song got released. It was the same week, I believe. It was actually the release party for the new Ventress album in 2019. And when I say this whole fucking mosh pit just erupted when they started this song. But that's it. That is part 1 of my top 10 favorite albums of 2020. And let me know in the comments section if you heard any of these albums this past year. What'd you think of them? And don't forget, after I put out part 2, I'll be putting out that playlist of all the music videos and everything from the songs I talked about in this one. Be sure to check that out. And of course, if you would, hit that like button. Drop a comment in the comments section. Share on social media. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can keep up to date with all the videos I got covered. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.